replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to...
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
There might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
The sun hangs low over the Circuit of the Americas, turning the Texas sky into a sheet of molten copper. Heat shimmers off the asphalt, rising like breath from a sleeping giant, and tonight that giant awakes. The Americas Racing League GT3 Series rolls into Austin with the engine snarling and liveries gleaming. At attention you can feel in your chest, and this isn't endurance, this is patience. This is a 60-minute sprint where every lap is a knife edge and every mistake is a debt paid in seconds, but beneath the aggression, beneath the thunder of V8s and turbos, a quiet game lurks. One pit stop, mandatory but malleable. Take it early and gamble on clean air. Stretch it late and trust your tires to hold the line. Pit with the pack and fight in traffic. Pit alone and risk the undercut. Strategy isn't just alive. Strategy is stalking the paddock like a predator, waiting for a moment someone blinks. Welcome in. This is Racers Nexus. We're filling in a little bit here for the other folks. In the booth with me is the missing milk carton, James Watson. James, welcome in to Austin, Texas, to COTA, a track that we were talking off air. Both of us think it's better suited for open wheel racing, but we're going to throw some sports cars, heavy old sports cars on it here tonight for 60 minutes of action.
You think it's better suited for open wheel cars. I think it's better suited for the trash heap, but that's a rant for another day. But yes, Circuit of the Americas. It's definitely going to provide a unique challenge, especially for these open setup racers. You hear so much about balance in motorsport, trying to find that right balance, and this is one of the biggest testers of trying to find that balance. You see there's a lot of tight corners, a lot of sweeping corners, but a lot of high-speed corners and straightaways. So finding something that's going to work at every part of the track, well, that could nigh be impossible here, but we'll see who's going to have the best compromise here to get it done at COTA. Or, as you said, Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah. America, baby. America. We should all be flying the red, white, and blue here this evening. It's coming from a Canadian, but you know what? We're North Americans, I guess. We're just the top end of it. But let's take a look at the calendar where these drivers have been so far this season. They started off in Long Beach. Another great track there. I love doing Long Beach. Laguna Seca, Road America was round 3. Road Atlanta, back-to-back roads. For round 4, Coronado, the new circuit they hit up last week. You can see they are at COTA here now. Mid-Ohio next week, off to Sonoma. I'm just realizing as I'm going through this, it's all American tracks, James. I guess it goes with the America's Racing League here. Watkins Glen and Barber Motorsports Park going to round out the career. That's a lot of new refreshed tracks as well, too. Barber, a new refreshed track. Watkins Glen, only a season or two ago. Sonoma is newly refreshed. Coronado, the new track, of course. And COTA was done last season, I think.
Yeah, the motherland, Sonoma there in 2 races.
Yeah, back in your old stomping grounds.
Yes, sir. Always thrilled to see the homeland on any sort of schedule.
Let's take a look at the format. Practice 50 minutes. They finished that off. They're into their qualifying, unlimited laps in qualifying, although they only have 10 minutes. Relatively long lap here at COTA. 2:05 looks like the best time so far, so probably only get maybe 2-3 laps if they really push it. 60-minute race coming up. They have unlimited sets of tires, unlimited fast repairs, but again, we were talking offhand. That may have been a glitch in the UI when I was picking the information out. Open setups, 75% fuel load. They will be forced into a pit stop a little later on in the race, and 60 instant points going to net them a drive-through with no DQ limit. So James, I know you're more of a open wheel and oval merchant, but sports car racing.
Yeah.
I know it's not the home here at COTA Sports Car Racing, but we're going to throw, what do we got? 30 plus sports cars around this track. Big track, should be relatively spacious for a lot of these drivers to find a lot of room out there. But, you know, those turtle curbs that iRacing still hasn't updated, they can be vicious.
Yeah, sports cars are a lot of fun to watch. You can typically get a real big pack of these things just beating and banging on each other, lap in, lap out. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see, and there's a lot of passing opportunities, a lot of opportunities to make some major sends here. So we'll see how that factors in, and this is also going to be quite the fascinating qualifying session as well, as it's just about over, because your room for error is almost non-existent, because everyone who's raced this track on the sim knows that track limits are mean. They are stricter than a grade school teacher at times. So if you just look at one of these exit curbs wrong, oh, there's a 1x, your lap is gone. Haha, sucks to be you. But yeah, and because of that, and plus also this track is big. It's like a 2-minute plus lap time. So you're not going to have many bites at the cherry. You've got to get a banker lap and then get another lap in or two and just pray that nothing goes wrong at any point. It is so difficult to get a good lap in, but if you can nail the pole like, oh boy, I don't even
Peter
know.
Przybylski?
Przybylski?
Peter Przybylski, I believe. I think
Przybylski.
we'll probably get a pass for getting that wrong if we do here, James. But I'm going with Peter Przybylski. You know what? As I said, I'm a Canadian. Grew up playing hockey. We have a lot of names, a lot of Polish names, a lot of Czech names in the background. So I'm pretty confident that's Przybylski. But we'll see if we get an update as the race goes on. But I think we're safe with that one. But yeah, he looks like he's one of only 2 drivers into the 205s here. He and Barkley in second place. Everybody else into the 206s. We got a number of drivers back, 208s, 209s. So 60-minute race here may seem like a long time, but that's only going to equate to maybe 26, 27 laps when all's said and done around COTA.
Yeah, and now the question is that how many classes do we have here? Go ahead and explain to the folks at home all the different classes that are taking part tonight, Rob.
We got our pro class. They're going to be the kind of grayish off-white colored number boards. We got our Pro-Am drivers. They are the red, and then GT3 Pro-Am is our blue, and looks like that's actually our most populous class here tonight, James, with 14 drivers in AM. So we've got 10 Pro-Ams and only 7 pros. So interesting to see once the pros, by about back half of the race, we're going to get into a little bit of traffic here. And although the track is fairly wide at COTA, it really only has one racing line. And as you mentioned early on, to make a pass, a lot of times it comes down to having to dive bomb somebody. As much as you hate having that happen, that's sometimes only the way to pass around here.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of side-by-side through the switchback, increasing, decreasing radius, hairpins, however you want to call that, towards the final section that I absolutely adore. 10 out of 10, certainly not any notes. But yeah, you're going to see a lot of side-by-side through that part of the track because, well, you're immediately going to flip-flop. One person's going to have the inside lane, one person's going to have the momentum on the outside, but then it's immediately going to flip-flop. So it'll be difficult to find who will win out in that situation, and you'll probably have to wait until the multi-apex sweeper to find the winner of that battle.
Yeah, it looks like we got a nice mix of manufacturers in the room too as well. I guess this being an open setup, it's not quite what we've seen in a lot of the other shows we have this season on the channel, where it's a GT3 fix. Seems like the Ferrari and Mustang have been fairly dominant across those leagues. We are seeing 4 Mustangs up at the top, but that just kind of goes hand in hand with COTA itself being basically a horsepower track with all the long straights. The Mustang and the McLaren just naturally are going to have that horsepower advantage around here.
Yeah, and as a big fan of the blue oval myself, it does my heart good to see the horses up here at the top.
The horses stretching their legs.
Yes, sir.
Well, it looks like the grid is set. Let's take a look at what we got. Why don't you take us through the first 10 drivers, James?
Yes, sir. On the front row, we have Peter Przybylski and David Barkley on the front row. Ted Piper and Daniel Kent on row number 2. Michael Hickman and Stefano Zanotti on row 3. Bryce McClafferty and Sam Graff on row 4. Rounding out the top 10, it is Wyatt Johnson Jr. and George Reynolds Jr.
In 11th place, we're going to find David Wiggins and Nathan Brannon to his outside. In 12th, 13th place, Anne-Marie Di Pasquale and Benjamin Gallant. 15th place is where Matt White is going to start beside Paige Doggenbog. In 16th place, 17th place is Craig Searcy, and 18th, Robert Bowman. And then rounding out the top 20, we're going to find Nick Dawson Lathan and Neil Alexander.
And then we're going to have Lil Garwood and Michael Miner on row 11. Anthony Madonia and Barry Cochran on row 12. Rodney Ramsey and Devin Strout on row 13. Scott Farrell and Matthew Susi on row, and then Jack Coffey and Ryan Hicks rounding out the top 30.
And wrapping up the back of the field, we got Chris Anderson in 31st, Justin Lanier in 32nd, and starting shotgun on the field is going to be Rigo Campos in 33rd place. No time, hopped in at the last second to see if he grids up. Looks like he and Scott Farrell are only two drivers who have not hit the grid so far, James.
Yeah, see if there's any pit lane starts, and all I have to say is God bless the shortened pace lap, because otherwise it was going to be quite the difficult undertaking for the two of us to figure out some sort of topic here on this long pace lap. Otherwise, you see already everyone getting to the weaving, trying to get the tires up to temp. These sports car tires, they take a little bit to fire up over these last couple updates, so you kind of do need to figure out some way to get the tire temp in. So typically you don't normally see guys weaving in most other series and leagues, but you're definitely seeing a good chunk of guys doing it.
Yeah, it seems like one of those things too as well, that they just seem to be constantly playing with from one season to the next, adjusting how quickly the tires heat up, James, and what the degradation on them is. It seems like be a moving target, the GT3 class, but I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with it being the most populated, most participation class in iRacing, other than the NASCAR stuff.
Yep, certainly not watching this, hearing that completely jealous as a fan of several very niche cars, but that's a rant for another day.
Yeah, safe to say James Watson is a fan of the niche crowd. Silver Crowns. Cough.
I'm even the community manager for this Crowns, for crying out loud. What was that? You see the pace car makes a hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Przybylski will lead us to the green flag. Green means go. We are underway at COTA. And you see Przybylski already down to the inside, trying to fend off the attacks from behind as we're going down into turn 1. Phil Hill, Calamity Corner, already getting a little bit of contact here, but thankfully no one getting punted.
Oh man, I thought for sure we were going to get a wreck there and everybody's going to pile into the back of the chains, but hats off to, I think that Zanotti in the red Ferrari was able to hold off, as it looks like Daniel Kent and that Mustang got into the back of him. So thank you to the netcode gods there for those two drivers, but Przybylski already out to a huge 6/10 lead now over the rest of the field.
Yeah, Zanotti almost getting naughty there going into turn one, but thankfully nothing wrong, no contact. Honestly, I'm not even sure if there was a whole lot of contact, if any, but yeah, already getting quite a bit of single filing out here. Oh, but looking maybe might be 3 wide. Oh, look at the send.
Oh, little tap there on the back end of the Corvette, but everybody could keep going. You know what? Hats off to these guys. We've got another number of other leagues we've covered that, you know, a turn one, lap one, we would have had a little bit of a calamity here and now. So far, I'd probably just curse the entire field now halfway into this race, but looks like Garwood going to get a move put on him. The inside by Barry Cochran in the Corvette. Big send by Jack Coffey late in the brakes there. As
he buried it down into the corner and made it stick, it looked like.
Yeah, Corvette's got pretty good braking. We've seen a couple of those drivers use it right now. Oh, we got the Porsche
some sort of tire smoke.
Yeah, Graf off on the right-hand side. Take a quick look here at what happened to him in a moment, but he's going to lose a number of spots.
Yeah, you see, going through one of the hairpins. Oh, just looped it kind of all by himself right there. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, you got bit by the cold tire bug there as Hickman move on the inside of Zanotti. He's going to pick up that spot. That's going to move Zanotti back down into his qualifying position of 6th place. So top 7 all back in the order they qualified here, James.
Yeah, it's not often you see things kind of running chalk right now, but yeah, everyone not really changing a whole lot of spots early on, but of course there's also no real need to really push. This is an endurance race. This is 60 minutes. That's a long time. Feels like an eternity here at COTA. And no, I'm not just saying that because of my my prejudice and preconceived notions. It is a long race. And you just got to make sure you're still around at the end and not costing yourself time doing something silly when you don't necessarily have to.
Yeah, no need to really force the issue here, as you mentioned. I think that's probably why we're seeing a lot of single file racing right now here, James. Kind of plan your attack for a little later on in the race, maybe save a little bit of fuel here, put that pit strategy into play as the race progresses on.
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing, is because even though the GT tires wear more than they used to, because it takes so long to get a tire change done, I'd be surprised if anyone actually goes and tries to take tire here. So it's going to be fuel. So if you can save yourself some gallons or liters, depending on who you are, you're going to save yourself some positions, because it takes a long time to fuel these GT3 cars.
Yeah, it's been a while since I raced GT3, but I want to say, I should know this. That used to be what I drove all the time, but I want to say it's about 22 seconds for a full 4-tire change. With them running 75% fuel load, that should get them, I'm going to say, probably about 75% or more into the race in a 60-minute race before they need to fuel. So they're not going to need a whole lot of fuel when they do come in here at James for their service. So I don't think they'll have enough time, as you mentioned, to put tires on. Maybe the front 2 at the most.
Yeah, even then, I don't even know. That's getting real close. Oh, they are not cutting each other any slack. Look at that. Getting the elbows out. Oh, what a move there. Ooh. Whoa, talk about chopping the nose. Oh, and we're going 3 wide through the S's somehow.
Oh, man. Zanotti.
Johnson Jr. Contact. What a save by Johnson Jr. right there.
Man, that's about the 3rd time we've seen somebody save that. I don't have that luck when I'm racing, James. That would have been a spin for me. So I need to find some of what Wyatt Johnson's been drinking here lately to save that car. Maybe it's some of that better water technology paint scheme he's got on the inside of the car, but it's not. He's going to try again on the inside, take that spot away again. They're going to bump and bang, little elbows out racing here. You'd love to see that little NASCAR action in the sports car machines.
And that's what you love about sports cars, is because you have the fenders. you can get the elbows out. You can lean on the other car, be a little aggressive. You know, you're not having to be timid, try not to damage a wing or the floor like you would in an open wheel car. You can make contact and not really have to worry. Obviously, there's a lot more aero on these cars that you do have to worry about compared to, say, a stock car or something. So you can't really go full sicko mode out there, but you can get the elbows out a little bit and still be perfectly fine, and that's precisely what we're seeing.
Yeah, and I think they've updated the aero damage compared to some of the other cars on iRacing the last couple seasons, where it used to be if you got a little bump on the front bumper, you were really diminished on your top speed, where we've seen some Mercedes in particular this season where they've completely lost the front clip, no bumper, no headlights, grill gone, and it looked like they were running even quicker lap times than when they had their full aero package. So not like we see on Friday nights, tomorrow nights when we do the special stage trucks where they get a little kiss on the front end and it seems like they're down 30 horsepower.
Yep, yeah, it's quite interesting where the off-road trucks that have body panels made of paper mache, because who really needs them? Oh, got car around in the back, exit at turn 1. Oh, he's still spinning. Oh my lord, that is Michael Minor. Nearly a not minor incident right there. Oh, that definitely was the minor incident. That's big damage to, not quite sure who it was that he hit, and not quite sure what started that too, but
I think that might have been
man.
That might have been Campos, I think, that he got into there.
Yeah, I think he might. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I swear it looked like a McLaren.
Yeah, let's see if we can catch it again here. I tried clicking on Campos.
Oh,
it was
no,
a Corvette.
it's a Corvette. Yeah, is that? Not sure.
Jack Coffey.
Oh boy. Yeah, well, we're. It's funny that we were just talking about the damage model on the front of these GT3 cars. Now we're gonna have it demonstrated right there in front of us.
Yeah. Oh, we almost had Wyatt Johnson losing the front end of his car as Doggenbach squeaks through the big old Mustang on the inside. Talk about taking advantage of a mistake there, as Johnson almost got into the back of Zanotti, and Paige Doggenbach was not going to be needed to ask twice to take that position away.
Absolutely not. As you see, despite being almost 10 minutes into this race, no one's really gotten away from each other.
See the field heading across the line. Already on to lap 5. Kind of surprising, James. 10 minutes already gone in this race. We've had a lot happen so far, so getting more into the where as we see Doggenbach get a little squirrely out of turn 1. Getting more into where the patience is starting to get thrown out the window here, where drivers trying to make their move up through the field. You're seeing the front, looks like top 5 starting to pull away from the pack here now with a 3 to 7 second gap from 5th to 1st here right now. So drivers in the mid pack gonna have to start moving forward if they want a chance to get up into real points paying positions here.
Yeah, and getting these gaps is important. Draft is going to play a factor here at a track as big as Circuit of the Americas. So if you can get yourself out of that draft range and just kind of lower the amount of cars that you're going to have to worry about and go up against in these packs, the easier it is. The odds increase ever so much.
Yeah, I think we might have just had a connection issue there for George Reynolds. He was falling down through the field. It looked like he was going to get sent to iRacing Purgatory in the pits there, but he has popped back in. So he's going to be hoping that clears up a little bit. Nothing worse than getting sent to the pits for a bad connection, but looks like Zanotti might be around here, James.
Oh, no! That is big issues for Zanotti. You can't park there, mate.
See if he had a little help. It's Wyatt Johnson behind in the Better Water Technologies car. Oh, he did. A little shunt.
Yeah. Yeah, and that shot going that we just had, like, you couldn't even see where Wyatt was. Hey, it was that close to the rear of Zanotti.
He hasn't been afraid to make some moves here tonight. James is currently battling again with Paige Doggenbach. They got Gallant and Wiggins right in behind. Actually, they got a whole crew of cars now in behind them. It looks like right now Johnson being a little bit of the cork in the bottle. He's got passed by Doggenbach. We'll see if she can pull away now and try and drag this pack a little farther up towards Bruce McLafferty, who's taking advantage of them jockeying for positions in behind. He's now about 3 seconds ahead of that pack.
Now, the curious thing is race control going to get involved? Go ahead and talk to the folks at home there, Rob, of race control's role in this series. Do they have mid-race reviews and penalties? Is it post-race, or is it a free-for-all?
It is, from my recollection, post-race protest system. So all these drivers will have to clip a little highlight of what they want to protest, send it into the steward team, then they'll take a look at it from them. But funny you mentioned that, James, as this league is part of a kind of trio combined leagues that we cover here on Racer Nexus that are going to be hosting a 6-hour race in a few weeks. And let's take and throw up that promo there. 6 Hours Road America, brought to you by America's Racing League, which we're covering here tonight. Simulation, which coming on board in September. And then High Point Racing, you see them on Sundays and Thursdays here in the channel. So if you're interested in joining that, you'll find the Discord link for Racer Nexus in the description of the video here. Hop into our Discord. You'll find a link to get signed up there on the SimGrid website. It is 6-hour team race. All the IMSA classes, GTP, LMP2, GT3. It's about 50% full right now. Still got a couple weeks to get signed up, so get signed up before the going gets good.
Absolutely, and may that be a cleaner race than the real life 6 hours of Road America.
Oh man, what a race it was though. But I parlayed to that based off your question, James. I didn't even answer the question, but that race itself, the 6-hour race, will have live stewarding, and I believe potentially yellow flags if there's a big pile up. So there will be live stewarding in that one to come later on. But this one, no, they do need to file a protest after the race.
Yeah, you imagine Zanatti will probably be doing that in about 40 plus minutes or so.
Oh, looks like Chris Anderson had a moment here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get the old Cole Trickle City Chev paint scheme on that car. He's racing the wrong car, but looks like a solo spin on the back half of the track. Keeps it off the wall. Marshall Barney not paying any attention to him, not throwing out the yellow flag for the corner there. I'm not sure what he's getting paid for, but he's on strike.
Oh no, Madonia way off in the Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel right there.
Yeah, Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel X2. I guess that's one of the good things about COTA, and well, pretty much majority of the FIA Grade 1 tracks. If you do have a mistake, you do generally have a lot of runoff to avoid the wall, unless you have a catastrophic event like we saw with the Corvette and McLaren not long ago with car coming back on track. But generally you have a lot of space where you can collect the car up before that wall comes in, a lot of kitty litter around the track to save you. So you usually have a little less attrition at races like this, unless it's by incident points, as you mentioned early on. COTA really, really tough on incident points.
Yeah, are we able to keep track of that and look and see if anyone's already in that danger zone of getting themselves a unscheduled trip to pit road?
Well, we do have, SDK does kind of sort of keep track of it. They can only kind of estimate off tracks because they don't really can't. iRacing doesn't send out 4Xs and 2Xs for information, right? So it flags off tracks. So I'm having a look at it here now. Believe it or not, our leader Przbilski sitting at about 6 off tracks potentially right now.
Oh.
Same with Ted Piper in third place, 6 as well. A couple other drivers with 6 going down through the field. Wyatt Johnson, David Wiggins, and then some 5s, some 2s, and actually right now Bruce McLafferty. Hats off to him, sitting at 0 as it is now, 15 minutes into the race. So, and he's up in 7th place.
How about that one? That is mighty impressive what he's able to do, and to still put up some pretty good pace out there too.
Yeah, his best lap 206.92. That's better than the two drivers ahead of him, so potentially he could be picking up a couple more spots, but he now has Paige Doggenbach on his tailpipe. She's up 8 spots right now into 8th place, so nice run for her early on in the white Mustang. I've seen a couple times now where she's gotten heavy onto the throttle extending into the corner, that back end kind of stepping out a little bit here, James. Something she's going to want to be a little more weary of as the race goes on, and those tires start to go away. The track temps pop up here at COTA and it gets real slick.
It sure does. It's not the easiest track to run at when it comes to that. This is the deep in the heart of Texas. Clap, clap, clap.
Cue the gunslingers. Nice run there for Hickman out of the corner. Thought he was going to make a run up the inside of Ted Piper, our lone, or sorry, that's not him, Daniel Kent. Ted Piper, though, just ahead of them is our lone camera car this evening. He started in third. He stayed in third again, still our top 5 in their qualifying position. So not much movement from them. Status quo. I guess that's why they qualified at the top. Most consistent drivers put in the most consistent laps times, James.
Absolutely. It's honestly worth more to be consistent than it is outright quit. You know, because if you can drop like a 205 one lap, but then put together like a 207 the next 2 laps, but someone doing a 206 all 3 laps, well, they're gonna be a second faster than you across the average. So if you can be consistent, that's more beneficial than being quick for 1 lap but not being able to replicate it. But then of course you got aliens like Przybylski who's able to do both, and that's when it gets irritating when you're a more amateur plebe like me. Is someone going through the grass right there? Not sure what's up with that. That is Muhlman?
Yeah, Robert Muhlman, looks like. I'm not sure if he was just moving over to let those cars through. Looks like he went off track. I'm not sure if he went off beforehand. He was just trying to find a spot to merge back on. Yeah, I think he might have clipped one of these turtle curves here, James. Went off. Oh, yeah, there it is. There.
Oh,
Wiggly.
yeah.
Did the right thing, though. Didn't come back out in traffic, which you love to see. Mind his P's and Q's, found a spot, and he's going to take it on the chin, but he's going to continue to race.
And that's the important thing, and that probably only cost him maybe 1x too, as opposed to him smoking a guardrail or another competitor and getting 2 or 4x's and damage.
For sure. Yeah, it's one of those things that hurts to lose those positions, but it hurts even more to not see the checkered flag. As a guy who we have on the channel here, he's always got his sayings. Steve Kernick, love him to death. He always says, if you see the green flag, you got to see the checkered flag, and that's exactly what Muhlman, it was his strategy there. I saw the green flag, some way, somehow, I'm going to see that checkered flag.
Amen. And no, watching it fly on pit road as your car smoking doesn't count. Oh, this is a nice little battle pack. Oh, we got someone going down pit road already.
Yeah, it looks like
That
Matt White.
is Matt White.
So we had 20-minute mark. I'm surprised to see somebody come in. I'm always a proponent of the undercut, somebody trying the undercut, but 75% fuel load, 60-minute race, it seems like an extreme undercut. We'll see. As they say on Dodgeball, James, it's a bold move. Cotton, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, and the big thing is that you saw when he made that turn on the pit road, he was in the middle of a huge battle. So sometimes just getting yourself out of a huge pack that you're having to lose time, lap in, lap out, being around and give space to, being able to put yourself in clean track, that is worth its weight in gold. So that could very well be a strategy call that puts him several seconds in front of all those guys that he was doing battle with.
Yeah, I guess the only condition I would put on that is something you mentioned earlier, where the draft being of a high importance here at COTA, with it being such high speed. You get a lot of long straights here where if he comes back out, he's going to have clean air, but he's not really going to have anybody to draft with, where he had a number of partners in that pack. So I guess it's kind of one of those things where you're weighing the pros and cons, being in a pack, maybe getting caught up a little bit, you held back a little bit, you pop into the pits, you find some clean air, but now you don't have that extra, a couple tenths of draft on the straights. And I guess we'll see how it plays out once the rest of the field starts coming in for their mandatory stop here.
Yeah, but I feel like what you gain through the corners being by yourself is going to offset the time loss on the straightaways.
So pick back up here. We got Michael Hickman tucked in behind Ted Piper. So Hickman's moved up a spot. He's going to take advantage of that early stop by Matthew White. See if he's able to capitalize it. But right now, Piper feeling a ton of pressure. No, that's not Piper. That's Hickman there. I got my guys mixed up. Sorry, that's Kent feeling some pressure from Hickman. My apologies. Still trying to figure out the liveries on a lot of these new drivers. But Hickman in that McLaren getting a ton of pressure for the Mustang in behind. And we still get those 3 Mustangs in podium positions here. James, 1, 2, 3. We had a Mustang in 4th to start this one off. He's lost that spot to Hickman, but he's trying to get it back here. And we'll see if the Mustang can really stretch its legs once we get to the long straights. But catching up behind them is Paige Doggenbach. She's up 9 spots now into 7th. Half a second back at George Reynolds and only 7 seconds back of Daniel Kent and Michael Hickman battling up ahead. So if they continue to battle, if she can dispose of George Reynolds here fairly quickly, she might be on point here for a top 5 finish.
Yeah, and how about Piper there, sitting P3 as a Pro-Am? A phenomenal run. If you're one of the lower class drivers, there is no greater feeling than being able to be in a overall podium or top 5. That just feels like such an accomplishment, because technically you're not supposed to be there, but when you're there, it's like, haha, how about that? How you like them apples?
Yeah, exactly. And on that same memento, Bryce McClafferty, our top AM driver, sitting in 8th place. Again, another driver that shouldn't be anywhere near that position too as well. So nice race for him too as well. He's actually down 1 spot from where he qualified.
Yeah, but the most important thing is he's got that class lead. At the very least, you can say, hey, I won, as we got Wiggins bringing it in.
I wonder if this is going to kick off a few more pit stops here, James. We're getting close to the halfway point. 36 minutes to go, so 24 minutes down in the race. They will have no problem making it to the end of the race from fueling up from here, but they're going to be carrying a little more fuel load than what they probably would have wanted. I've always been a proponent of, in GT3 racing, with the cars being as heavy as they are, you want to try and run as much as you can with your tires in as good a position as you can. So mid-race, low fuel, that's where you're going to put your best lap times in, versus having that low fuel at the end of the race with worn-out tires. But we'll see how it works.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. That's always the strategy I use myself, running in prior Racer Nexus broadcast leagues like ASRL. So, but yeah, different schools of thoughts for you guys right now. See Reynolds. Yeah, Paige looking out, looking for the send here.
Just get the inside line. Reynolds backs out. I think he knew he was cooked on that one. James, no real reason to fight it. Tuck in behind, use that draft, and see if she can pull him away from McClafferty. He was getting closer in behind here now. Our top AM driver, he wants to dance with some Pro-Am and Pro drivers.
Absolutely. See another battle here between Brandon. Here knocking on the back graph.
This corner, I struggle with this corner, James. I don't know about you. there seems to be so many different lines you can take through the double right-hand apexing corner here. Some cars, like the open wheelers, which you're familiar with, you can kind of stay right tight on that inside curb, where these heavier GT3 sports car machines, it seems you have to really go out wide, and you know, you're double apexing it, but it takes so long to get around there. It feels like almost like you're triple apexing that corner through there. But I know COTA not a favorite track of yours, but what kind of lines do you normally try and take through there?
Yeah, I always try to keep it to the inside for the most part. I slide out in between the apexes, trying to get through it a little better. Personally, I haven't really struggled with that one. I struggle more with the corner right after that downhill kind of left-hand kink before the final corner, you know, because you're kind of having to take it blind almost. You're having to guess your turn and hope you're nailing it, and that too is one of the strictest off tracks, not only on the apex but on the exit as well. So it's just such a cumbersome corner when it's just like not that tight of a corner when you look at the track map, but yeah, it can be a pain.
Yeah, it's not tight, but it just seems like it never has any grip no matter what the track temp is in that area. But you know, maybe it's just a skill issue on my part. I'm not afraid to admit it. As you see, our lone accurate in the field here, Nick Dawson-Lathan, up 8 spots as well. So nice race shaping out for him. But he's got Sam Graff, who we're just on board with moments ago. He's pulling away from Brannon, and he's got his eyes set on that spot from Dawson-Lathan. Graff off early on, lost a number of spots. He's down 4 from where he qualified, trying to claw them back. But while we were watching that battle, looks like something might have happened to Rodney Ramsey here. Let's take a look and see what happened to he as he's heading up over the crest. The all-black Corvette. Oh, so he just kind of parked it in the apex to let through the 20 of Matthew Susi.
Yeah, a little bit of a business decision, I'd say.
Stefano Zazzotti, man, it's been all around the action here tonight. He's been doing a little touching of rears and getting touched on his rear here tonight, James. And you know what? In some states, he might be behind bars right now for that, but he's still out on the track right now, down 17 spots, but looking to take one away from Will Garwood in that Mercedes up ahead.
Yeah, on the road to recovery here, trying to claw it back from that early well, it wasn't a mistake, actually. It was someone else's mistake behind him that became his problem.
He's going to make the move on Garwood. It's going to get him up. Devin Strach now into the pits. So another taker from the mid pack. He's coming back out after his service. So it looks like we've got for about 19th place on back have come in for their service here, James. So now we'll see maybe if the cars they were battling with have to answer back. One of those drivers who was battling up a little farther, Wyatt Johnson, was actually, I think that's the driver that got into the back of Zanotti, if I remember correctly. He's in the battle with Benjamin Gallant. He's got that big old Mustang lurking in behind him. It just looks so menacing when it's tied up being behind another car.
Whoa, as you see Johnson go wide right there. Now he's having to really defend this position. But the Mustang just not able to get... He did, and that's crazy. But yeah, Mustang not able to take advantage of it, not able to get close to Johnson there.
Now they have that Acura we were on board with earlier, Nick Dawson-Lathan, right into that battle too as well. But I was saying that Mustang looks so big and behind it, I liken it back to, I don't know if you remember the old memes of the BMW M8.
Yep, the giant BMW meme.
The big chungus. It's kind of what the Mustang is now. As Gallant, Graff, and Brandon come in for their pit service. Seeing more and more drivers here at the halfway point coming in. Have a look at pit times, James. I think we had a couple drivers take some tires a little farther back in the field. Coffee, Susie, Ramsey, 22-second stops in their stall for them. Where Wiggins and Audi only 12 and 13 seconds, and maybe only 2 tires for them. or none at all. Our leader, though, Przybylski, leading the way since the drop of the green flag. One of the only drivers to put in a 2-minute and 5-second lap time in qualifying. So he's had the pace, showed it from the very start. He's opened up 6 seconds now over Barkley in second place. No slouch himself. Best lap time is still 2/10 slower than Przybylski. Todd Piper, again, as James mentioned, our Pro-Am driver, sitting in a podium overall position in third place where he qualified. So he's had the pace right from the very start, James, and he's been able to hold on to it. So it's one thing as well. You mentioned you're a Pro-Am driver, you're up there battling in the pros, you're like, yeah, look at me now, and then to stay there is another thing. So 30 minutes into this race, he's been able to hold on to that position, showing that he has the overall pace as well.
That he has.
So we got a lull in the action here. I do have points loaded up in for these drivers. We'll take a look at the points while we're in the middle of some pit stops. On the pro side, Michael Hickman comes in leading by only 2 points over Doggenbog in second place. Paul O'Malley only 3 points back as well in third. Peter Przybylski going to have a nice points haul here tonight, James, if he brings home top spot, currently sitting in fourth place in the championship. Over in Pro-Am, Stefano Zanotti, the driver who's had a bit of an adventurous night, leading the way over Matthew Johnson, who's not here tonight, and the drivers without the number board colored beside their name are not in the session. So Johnson, second place, is going to lose that spot potentially to Benjamin Gallant, Daniel Kent, Ted Piper potentially, who is leading Pro-Am class currently. And then over in AM, Michael Miner leading the way, but he has had a rough race. I believe he is out of this one, so that's not going to bode well for his championship hopes. Bryce McLafferty in second place, and he's leading the class right now in 8th place. Craig Searcy in 3rd, Scott Farrell 4th, and David Wiggins going to round out the top 5 drivers.
See, right now the lead appeared to have grown up to 8 seconds.
Yeah, last lap by for Przybylski, excuse me. 3, almost 4/10 quicker than Barkley, so he's putting hammer to the road here tonight, James. At this point in time, I don't know if I was Przybylski, I don't know, he's probably driving a comfortable pace right now, but I might back off a little bit, try and save a little bit of fuel so you can comfortably come into the pits and take a little bit less here and still maintain that lead, where you know Barkley and Piper are going to have to be going full bore to try and catch him. But this battle here between Hickman and Kent hasn't gone away. Hickman been able to hold off Kent. Neither drivers come in for their stop. It's like everybody other than our top 11 and 19th place Will Garwood have come in for their service. So we'll start to see where those drivers who pit early, James, start to cycle back through.
Yeah, a lot of questions that are going to be answered very quickly here.
I keep thinking that's a Mountain Dew livery on that Mustang.
Right, me too.
I keep trying to look at it to see, okay, which Mountain Dew product are they representing? But then I see it's ARL Racing. So Daniel Kent, damn you for throwing me off. Oh, we got Mercedes with the same paint scheme too as well. The
yeah,
Dew imposters.
The Duposters.
He's in the middle of a battle with Strach and Alexander. Alexander leading this trio. Strach in behind. It's a battle for, was it 20th, 21st, and 22nd place. 3 German cars. The Porsche, the Mercedes, and another Porsche. So the Mercedes in a bit of a Weissenbach sandwich here. Timothy Madonia not too far back either. That one kind of looks like a DC Shoes paint scheme. I don't know. I'm getting tricked by all these liveries here tonight.
I know. They're cool, though.
There's sharp-looking ones out there as Wyatt Johnson going to lose another spot. Sam Graff makes that move by. And then Bruce McClafferty, oof, goes squirrely there. He has come in for his service. He's going to give up his top spot in AM, who's going to be taken over here by Craig Searcy. He still owes us a stop, so I suspect Clafferty will take that position back once Searcy comes in. But you know, it's one of those things where you come out cold tires, anything can happen, James. But let's take a look at our weather conditions here to see what the track temps are at now. So we've actually picked up a few degrees. We're up to 88 degree Fahrenheit track temp, which at a race at COTA, that's downright cold.
Honestly, yeah, for Texas, that is ice cold.
I think I've done some races here where the track temp's been over 120 degrees Fahrenheit. You go to brake for a corner and it just feels like you're never going to stop.
Yeah, it really does. But, man, they really haven't left each other.
And they've been running basically identical lap times the last, oh man, I want to say 10 laps or so. Last time by, only 3 100ths separated the two of them. I'm wondering right now if Daniel Kent has stayed tucked in behind Hickman enough here where he's not going to need enough fuel when they do come in for the stop, James, where you can just use the undercut. Well, I guess necessarily be undercut if they come at the same time. And as we get into the back half of the race here, but just the fuel savings of that half a second or so less in his stall, he might be able to leapfrog Hickman that way.
Yeah, you're probably going to be right about that.
I think we should be seeing them in here the next lap or two anyways. It's one thing about pit stops in a big track like this, it always seems to kind of spread the field out a little bit after the cycle comes through, where all the drivers cycle through and get their stops done. So we really have a couple battles on track. We got this one right now. We've got Matt White and Devin Strach as they battle with Neil Alexander. Ooh, deep onto the brakes there for Strach in the Porsche. Got it woed down in time, but Alexander in the 911 leading this pack, trying to hold off the charge from White. So we got this battle. We got the one between Hickman and Kent, and then McClafferty here trying to hold off Nick Dawson-Latham. The rest of the pack separated by more than a second or two here, James, throughout the field.
Yeah, that's the tough thing about these long road course races with the GT cars, is that they spread out so much, and it's hard to kind of find a buddy to pass the time with and race around. Most of the time it feels like you're stuck with only one car around you or just all by your lonesome. But if you're Brzbilski, you're hoping that you're all by your lonesome.
Yeah. He's into the back end of the field here now, lapping some cars as he just made his way around Scott Farrell, who is sitting in 27th place. So it's going to put him a lap down. Barry Cochran now about 18 seconds up. Susie now, as Cochran got around him with a second and a half up, and then Cochran another 20 seconds down the field. So he's got a little while before he gets into some more lap traffic here. But as you mentioned, James, that gap was up to about 8 seconds, but Barklett's been able to claw it back in now. It's down to just under 6 seconds between those two drivers. I wonder if the lap traffic played a little bit of a role for Brzbilski as he was making his way through.
Yeah, probably, I'd say.
Barkley's got a comfortable gap over Piper in the third. Hickman and Kent continue their battle. Neither one have come in for their fuel stop here yet. Looks like our top 10 going to take it right to the very end. Oh, as I say that, George Reynolds going to come in for his stop. They're going to take it down to the last drop here tonight, James. COTA, not necessarily a track where you really want to be running out of fuel on the back half of it. It's just the back half of the track is just so flat. It's not like you can kind of coast downhill somewhere at some of the other tracks and kind of make your way back to the pit lane.
Yeah, like half a lap to go at COTA is a full lap at a good amount of road courses. So if you run out, you're screwed. Be the toe of shame on that one.
Yeah, and pit lane itself is uphill too as well, so you're not getting any benefit from that one either. It's a mixed bag. I might be wrong, but I think I've been there once or twice before, running out of fuel in the last corner here.
But you know, on the flip side, it is easier to save fuel at a track like COTA because of how high speed it is and the braking zones. There's a lot of opportunity to lift and coast and save fuel while running a pretty similar kind of braking zone. You know, just lift off early, but brake another marker or so after, and you're still roughly doing the same time through the corner, but keeping more fuel in that fuel tank.
Yeah, for sure. And to mention that too as well, the start of the lap where you got the S's, you can get a nice little rhythm through there, and you don't necessarily even need to be on the throttle. You can kind of lift off and work your way through there too as well and save a little bit of fuel. So yeah, that's one of the benefits of the big tracks, is there is a lot of lift and coast and easy onto the brakes, save a little bit of fuel here versus a tighter track, something like say Road Atlanta, where this league was earlier this season. It's Road Atlanta, famous track, popular track. You see it every GT3 series, basically any league in iRacing. A season or two, they're going to make a stop at Road Atlanta. It's just one of those tracks like Daytona, like any of your other endurance races, Spa. They just always make a stop there. Where Road Atlanta, you don't really have that opportunity to lift and coast a lot of it. You get that one straightaway at the back, and that's really your greatest overtaking opportunity, James, where you can't really afford to lift and coast, otherwise you're going to lose positions through there.
Absolutely. We're going back on this battle now here. Side by side, Alexander and White.
Looks like White's going to get that pass done on Alexander. Oh, he's going to go wide.
Way wide right there, and here he comes, and Alexander going to take it back easily. And in fact, White's going to lose another spot. I wonder if he triggered a slowdown from that.
He did. He cleared it off pretty quick, though. It flagged up on my timing here for about 3 seconds, so he was able to. Looks like he's not even really going to lose much draft. He lost that position to the Porsche Strach, but James, he cleared that very quickly. He was able to capitalize and still maintain the draft, where it could have been catastrophic. If he would have lost the draft off these two, he wouldn't have had an opportunity to get back around them. But all these drivers have completed their fuel stops, so they're good to go to the end. They're going to keep battling for the next 15 minutes, I suspect. Oh, I'm having a look at our off-track counter. Again, this is only so accurate. I'd say I give it maybe 60 to 70% accuracy, but Ted Piper, our lead Pro-Am driver, according to my timing and scoring here, sitting on about 15 incident points right now, potentially, James. So 16 nets them a drive-through, so he's got 15 minutes that he could potentially be flirting with only one or two more off-tracks.
Yeah, lately we call that the Kimi Antonelli, apparently.
Sour grapes?
What? No, certainly not. Yes, I'm a Ferrari fan. Why do you ask?
That message by James Watson is Charles and excuse me. Oh man, I lost my train of thought there.
Lewis?
Charles and Lewis approved.
Yes. Meanwhile, enough about my sour grapes here. It's still a pretty good battle we're watching here between Graf and Gallant.
And you just kind of hear Gallant feathering the throttle of that Mustang through the S's. Oh, I'm surprised he went down a gear there, and the Mustang's fairly oh man, it's fairly torquey. I thought he would just kind of stay in the gear through there, keep a little more rhythm. Sometimes with the Mustang, I find if you gear down, it's just got so much torque, it'll kind of lock the back end up around on you and snap around. So he must be a more talented driver than me, James.
Yeah, it seemed to work for him, though. You saw that massive run he got through. Here we go, race leader in.
Yeah,
and P2 right behind him, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like the rest of our top 5 are going to come in. Oh, Doggenbach going to go around one more lap. She was able to save a little bit of fuel. Surprising, because we've seen her in battles for, like I say, the good portion of the first 20 minutes of the race here, James. Seemed like she was battling with anybody and everybody kind of mid-pack as she worked her way up through.
Yeah, it looks like she was really able to get the Lyco to work, get herself another lap, and get herself some laps led too.
So she's going to be the lone driver to go around an extra lap as Di Pasquale and Johnson in. They were the last two to not pit. Looks like Wyatt Johnson with a black flag too as well, so he's going to have to come back around after and serve a drive-through. That's a double pain for him. Massive ouchie for him.
Yeah, oof, size big.
But Przybylski is back out. He is 5 seconds back of Doggenbach. Let's see if I turn on my pit exit guesstimator here. If she pits this lap, she should come back out in between 4th and 5th, between Piper and Kent potentially. That would put her about 2 seconds ahead of Kent, 2 seconds back of Piper. So we could see a battle here for top 5 positions. Heading down the checkered flag here, James.
I can't wait for that. Because it'll get wild here with 10 minutes to go or so.
And skimming through pit times.
And there she is.
She's coming in. As I look through pit stall times, looks like McClafferty, our top AM driver in 10th, potentially took all 4 tires. Everybody ahead of him, 2 tires at most. Number of drivers in behind him, 2 tires as well. So he's only a second and a half back of Gallant and another second back of Graf up ahead. So with those fresh tires, it'd be interesting to see if he's able to capitalize and reel in those drivers.
Yeah. So far, so good.
Sometimes the strategy doesn't work out the way it's planned. You being a Ferrari fan knows all about that.
That is a low blow, sir. Talk about kicking a man while he's down for almost 20 years.
I can't say much as a McLaren fan myself, so it hasn't been a great year on the McLaren side. So
it was a great last 2 years, though. Curse you.
Yeah. Speaking of McLaren, there's Michael Hickman in a McLaren. He's 1.3 seconds back of Doggenbach. They are both in the Pro class. That's going to be a battle for class position 2 as well as the final spot in the top 5 currently being held by Doggenbach. And then Kent, our second place Pro-Am driver, he's been sneaking up on the back of Piper here. James, only 4 seconds separating those two drivers. Pipers looks strong out front, but as I mentioned, might be flirting with the incident point limit here for the last 9 minutes for him.
Yeah, that might be our biggest storyline here in these final 10 minutes is who's gonna get the paddling for too many X's.
There's nothing worse than going a 60-minute race and then he comes down to the last lap. You're sitting on 1 incident point and you happen to get it coming through the last couple corners. You can't serve it on the last lap. You're just going to kind of cross the line, take your 30-second penalty, go home, call your mom, have some tears on the phone, tell her how great you did. She bakes a cake, mails it out to you in a couple days, and sorry, I thought I was in my therapy session here for a moment.
Mom, pick me up, I'm scared.
Mom, it happened again.
It's like, yes, I know I'm a doofus. You don't have to rub it in. Oh wait, that might just be my mom.
I know you told me not to do it again, but it happened. We got a nice battle here between Graf, Gallant, and McClaffery. I said McClafferty had those fresh tires. He's been able to reel them in. Probably a little bit of benefit here between Graf and Gallant jockeying for 9th to 10th place, but he is right there, our AM driver, looking to score some respect here as the top AM driver.
Yeah, it's all about that class win right now.
Graf, all three of these drivers are in different classes. Graf, a pro, Gallant in Pro-Am, and McClafferty is in AM. So racing for bragging rights. I can't be honest with you. I don't know whether they hand out points based on your overall position or where you finish in class. So I'm judging by the way they're racing here, James. It's probably overall position, which I generally prefer. It means if you have a nice race as a Pro-Am or an AM, you finish well up the field, you get a nice points haul. Versus if McClafferty's only going to get first place points here, and he's 5 positions ahead of Wiggins in second place. It just doesn't. It feels like you're getting the raw end there.
It really does, but it's wild, how interspread the classes are. Like typically, you'll see like kind of the classes separate themselves like oil and water and so on in a beaker, but everyone's mixed in pretty well. Again, we're looking at a Pro-Am on the podium at some point or in some way, since 3rd or 4th are Pro-Ams here. That is really cool to see.
Yeah, I love seeing that. It's got to feel good for the driver too as well. And James Watson bringing out the beaker talks. We're doing a little science, little Bill Nye with James Watson here, cooking up some scientific research on the track strategy.
Figure since we're talking about Beaker.
Beaker and Bunsen, 2 of my favorite Muppets.
Mine too.
Oh, Gallant going to go wide. McClafferty looks for the crossover, but Gallant could have the inside line in through the S's, but they go wide again. I wonder if the tires are starting to fall off in that Mustang, or if Gallant just doing a little too much mirror watching here, James.
Yeah. Just looking at some of the other battles around here. Yeah, I was just about to point that one out. This one's pretty good.
Yeah, this has been going on for a while. Alexander, Strach, and White. Last we checked in on them, that was where White went off on the final corner, was able to stay in touch, but hasn't been able to make his way back around. Alexander's been able to hold on to that spot, so the 2 Porsches leading the Mercedes. White currently 3rd place in AM class, so potentially a nice race for him. It's like funnily enough, we talked about the spread in classes from 20th place all the way back to 33rd is majority of our AM drivers, but we do have the two couple all-stars here this evening in the AM class with McLafferty and Wiggins well up out of their class, which suggests they be. As Strach looks to the inside, Alexander unable to make that move into turn 1.
Now we'll see what kind of run he's going to get, though, down the long back straightaway, praying that the draft helps.
Yeah, you can't help but feel like a sitting duck here right now if you're Alexander. Oh, Strach backed off real early, though. I'm surprised. With only potentially this lap plus one more here, time of the essence.
Yeah, time's wasted. TikTok.
I almost pulled a Samuel L. Jackson line out there whenever you said TikTok. I was going to throw the old, I think you probably know where I'm going with that one.
Absolutely.
Oh, White getting a good run through there. Oh, Strach goes defensive. No, he goes into the pits.
Uh-oh. The fuel calculator telling some fibs, or had he already pitted?
Yeah, he pit the first time, only 10 seconds though in his stall, 10.8. We're seeing everybody else, even on the quick side, in the 11 and 12 second mark. So I think it was just a case under fueling. Oh no, drive through for incident points for Devin Strach.
Oh no! Oh, the first victim.
That one hurts. And it's update on Ted Piper, who I'm showing now 19 off tracks for him. So, as I said, only about 67% accurate on this here. So he's got to be getting close to flirting with that, though, I would think. A couple of the drivers here, Przbilski sitting on 11, I'm showing, Doggenbach 13, 14 for Hickman, 15 for Wyatt Johnson, 18 for Dawson Lathan. So some other drivers that got to be getting pretty close to it here. Our leader into the SS. Oh, some lap cars in behind him. They're getting tangled up. He should be picking up the white flag next time by here. James has now opened that gap up to 10 seconds, almost 11 seconds over Barkley. So things comfortably in hand here as long as he doesn't get caught up in somebody else's misfortunes.
Yeah, hoping to just cruise from this point on and bring it home.
There we see Barkley now. 11.3 seconds back. I wonder if Barkley's having to save some fuel here, as he was 10 on the very low end of the pit stops here. 10.4 seconds for him. We just saw Strach have to come in. He was in around 10 something too as well the first time. 10.8 when he came in. Although Strach was for a drive-through, but Barkley, the slowest basically out of everybody in the field here. Przbilski 12.0. Now, mind you, he was out front, no draft the entire race, but Barkley's dropped off quite a bit the last couple laps. He's flirting with the 208s, where Przbilski just did his fastest lap of the race last time, 206.3 last time by. So he's putting down the hammer. Barkley, I think, is trying to nurse it back to the line. He's got a comfortable lead over Piper in third place, but if he has to really reel back here in the last lap here, James, then I'm not sure if he's going to make it.
I don't know either. This is close for comfort. So here we go. White flag.
Dominating performance by Przbilski. Oh, black flag there for Graf. Sam Graf gonna have to drive through the pits from 9th place. It's gonna be, not sure what that's for. I'm only showing him at about 8 off tracks, but oh, he's got some heavy damage on the front of that car. I think he's had an off. He might have got a 4X here James, that put him over the limit if he had some help, or a 2x at the very least.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, look at this Samuel Graff. He got hit. Please don't make me laugh. So I'll have this thing before we're
Jack
DMCA.
Kroger would be proud. Yeah. Serving his drive-through there. No bumper on the front end of that Porsche. I think that was McLafferty that came through. Tagged him. It was. He doesn't look like he got any real damage out of that though, James. A little bit of a brush on the right front corner, but luckily not. He didn't lose his front end like Graff did.
Yeah, he lucked out. I'm guessing it was maybe the netcode gods looking out for him or what, but yeah.
He's got Gallant just under a second behind him, but our leader, Przybylski, head through my nemesis corner here now for the final time. He'll have 2 more corners to go here, James. It's going to be a flag-to-flag win for him.
Yeah, just absolute dominance. Is he out?
Oh, no.
Oh no, he crossed the line and is already starting his burnouts because start-finish line is right there. Man, don't give us a heart attack there, Pete. Come on now.
The same thing for you. I was going to say, how do you run out at the line whenever you made the move through? But I guess you wanted to make sure Barney the flagman was going to see his donuts. So Barkley can come home second, Piper in third, Kent fourth, Doggenbach going to round up top 5. But in a battle here between Johnson and Brandon, they're going to take it down to the line. This is for 12th and 13th place. Brandon almost got into the right quarter of Johnson. Sam Graff just up ahead of De Pasquale as they head to the line. He's going to come across, no bumper and all on the front end, served his drive through. And Johnson going to, oh, is he?
Oh, yeah, that got close.
I wasn't sure if he was sputtering there. I didn't know if it was a downshift that backfired or if it was just he ran out of fuel out of that final corner. But Neil Alexander going to come home in 18th place. Matt White take the final step in the podium for AM class in third.
Yeah, what a race. That was a fantastic race. That was unbelievably clean for as many cars that were in this field.
Oh, for sure. And especially that first lap where I'm going to say pretty much everybody, everybody got through with
Slide into the DMs like.
Hit me up.
You can't park there, mate.
Oh, man.
Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, that's a sport ender right there. Oh no.
We need a medic.
Speak to us, Devin.
Send the orange
medic,
ambulance.
we need the coroner at this rate. I think we're past that point.
Send the coroner, send the National Guard, send everybody. Oh, man.
Send some life insurance.
Let's take a look at the final results from that one. Let's take a... Let's have a look at the Pro Class first here, James, where Przybylski led it wire to wire ahead of Barkley and Doggenbach. Hickman going to come home in fourth with Graff in fifth, De Pasquale, in sixth, and Dawson Latham going to round out the field. How does it look in Pro-Am?
Ted Piper, your race winner from Daniel Kent and George Reynolds, rounding out the podium with Benjamin Gallant and Wyatt Johnson Jr. rounding out the top 5.
And then over in AM class, our biggest field of the evening, McLafferty going to take the win ahead of Wiggins and White. Madonia, Coffey, Searcy, Cochran, Farrell, Susie, and Garwood going to round out the top 10, and Ramsey going to be the final driver finishing on the lead lap. A few drivers probably don't want to see COTA unless it's in their mirror here for the next few weeks, James.
Yeah, I wager you're probably correct on that. It's 60 minutes is enough for a few, I'm sure.
Yeah, we got a couple drivers in the waiting room here to have a chat. Looks like our race leader going to be our race winner, sorry, going to be the first one to catch up with James Watson.
Peter, James in the booth, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, that was an absolutely dominant performance out there. You look pretty well in control from the drop of the green flag. How difficult is it getting into a rhythm at a place like COTA?
I would say it took a little bit to find the rhythm since the track got a little bit harder from practice. So the car was slipping more places than I needed to with the setup I made and tried to test out to see if it would work on the hot tracks. But yeah, no, difficult circuit, but I'm glad that this was the one I dominated in.
Absolutely, and it's a very tough track on keeping the incidents under control with that drive-through penalty for too many looming large. It's real easy to just make a couple of mistakes and end up ruining your race.
I agree.
And that burnout there at the end, you wasted no time. It threw us off. We're like, oh no.
I screwed it up a little bit in the end. I didn't hit the brakes hard enough, but we'll take it.
Absolutely, but man, that was a heck of a run for you. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Shout out, of course, to the place where I started after sim racing was G-Force Sim Racing Lounge in Westfield, New Jersey. I always give my thanks to them for getting me into this hobby, and then of course the team I drive for, DTC, that they brought me to this league and maybe improve better.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you, Peter, and hopefully we're talking to you again here next week.
Hopefully. Thank you for your stream, guys. Have a good night.
That was our race winner, Przbilski. Let's catch up with our top Pro-Am driver here, Ted Piper. Ted, welcome in. Heck of a race there. Pro-Am driver finishing on the podium. Can't really ask for much more than that, can you?
No, that's my highest finish yet in this series. It was a little bit of a boring race. But I needed that for the points in the standings. I've missed a couple rounds and stuff, but I put in the practice here. I really like this track, and it rewarded me, So.
Yeah, may not have been all that exciting for you, but I know for a couple of drivers a little farther back in the pack, it was a little more exciting for them having to deal with each other in some incidents. But we got to ask, because we get a kind of a guesstimate of the off-track incident points on here. STK can only judge so much because iRacing doesn't send out 4Xs and 2Xs, so it just kind of tracks off-tracks. We're showing you somewhere in the neighborhood of about 17, 18, so we're curious, how close were you getting to the drive-through penalty there?
Oh, that's way off.
Oh, really?
I finished with 7.
Oh man, SDK hates you then, because it was throwing a bunch of off tracks your way. So we're getting kind of worried there as you're having a nice Pro-Am performance up in the podium position for overall, potentially might have to get a drive-through penalty there. So yeah,
that would have been terrible.
Good to hear about that.
DK was so close at the end. I asked him if he took tires, and he's like, nope, didn't take tires. And I was very surprised because he really closed the gap on me at the end of that race.
Yeah, it looks like the two of you were very close on pit stop time. Actually, looks like you were about a second quicker than you getting in and out of the stall. But next week, you guys are going to head to, where is it? Mid-Ohio next week. Drastically different track than COTA here. How are you feeling about going in there?
Well, that's probably that's one of the tracks I've driven in person. So I'm excited about that one. I've got a leg up and hoping for another podium overall, and another win in the pro-am at least.
So there we go. Ted's calling it out, going back to back here with
hopefully
wins.
We never know.
Well, before we let you go here, Ted, any shout outs you want to give to anybody watching you at home and helping you get ready each week?
Oh, just to the league. I'm one of the admins here, and shout out to Sean for giving me the position, and just the league, and I don't have any sponsors or anything like that to technically shout out to per se. I mean, the league is sponsored by VPG and Trophy AI. Thank you to you guys for coming and filling in. And I'm excited to watch it back and see all the excitement that was happening behind me.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. You don't feature a whole lot. You're in there here and there, but as you said, you were kind of out front with not much going on. But
I had absolutely nothing going on. So I understand.
Either way, best of luck next week at Mid-Ohio, and we'll be watching to see if you can accomplish that back-to-back.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Take care.
Thank you.
So, James, final thoughts here at COTA?
Yeah, that was, like I said, a really clean race. Impressed with the caliber of drivers in this series. There were a couple small incidents, but for GT cars on COTA, I was expecting a lot more destruction.
Yeah, and I think the incidents we did see, a lot of it was just, they're like racing incidents, just trying to make a move, trying to make a pass, where it wasn't where you see sometimes where it's just outright, I just was over my head for a minute, went off track, came back in, plowed through 3 or 4 different drivers. So with that, we will call her a night here at Racers Nexus. Again, this league back on track next week, August the 13th, for myself, Rob Campbell, and James Watson in the booth. We're going to bid you adieu, and until then, bye for now.